Welcome back. I'm Rajveer Kaur. I'm a mindful chemistry coach. I teach 11th and 12th class science students the subject of chemistry and help them get above 90% marks in their final exams. And also I help them prepare for their entrance exams. So in this series of videos, I'm taking up the back exercises of NCERT chemistry. Now we are on chapter number 2, that is solutions. We have already covered 30 questions from that back exercise. And in this particular video, I will be taking up the next I will take up 6 questions in this video. So question number 31 to question number 36. So let's see what is the statement for question number 31 and let's solve it quickly. Okay, so this chapter is actually very, very interesting. And of course, all the chapters, they have a lot of practical approach. So when you need to prepare solutions or to study the solutions in the laboratory, you need to have the deep knowledge of this particular chapter. Okay, so let's now move into solving the question number 2.31. The depression in freezing point of water observed for the same amount of acetic acid, trichloroacetic acid and trifluoroacetic acid increases in the order given above. Okay, so delta TF order has been given when acetic acid, then trichloroacetic acid, then trifluoroacetic acid has been dissolved in water. Equal amounts have been dissolved in water. Okay, now delta TF is a colligative property. That is, the depression in freezing point is a colligative property. So this means it depends only upon the number of particles that are present inside the solution. That is the solute particles inside the solution. Okay. Now, because we have been given that equal amounts of these 3 carboxylic acids have been dissolved, so we expect the delta TF value to be the same for all the 3 carboxylic acids. Okay. Now, because when a carboxylic acid is dissolved in water, it dissociates into 2 particles. One is the carboxylate ion, second one is the H positive ion. Okay. Now, what is the degree of dissociation? It will depend upon the strength of the carboxylic acid. More the strength of the carboxylic acid, greater will be the degree of dissociation. That is, more number of particles will be there in the solution. Okay. Now, if I say delta TF formula, it is equal to KF into M. Now, this formula is applicable only for those solutes which do not dissociate or associate in solution. But when there is dissociation or association of the solute particles inside the solution, then there is another factor, that is Van't Hoff factor, that is introduced. Okay. Now, this means in case of dissociation or association, delta TF value, it will depend upon the value of Van't Hoff factor. Okay, now what is Van't Hoff factor? It is equal to the number of particles after dissociation or association. Okay, I will not write association here because we know that carboxylic acids, they will dissociate in water. Okay, upon number of particles before dissociation. Before dissociation. Now, Van't Hoff factor, it depends upon the number of particles after dissociation, because the number of particles before dissociation will be the same in all the 3 cases. It will be 1. Okay, and the number of particles after dissociation, it will depend upon the degree of dissociation. Greater the value of degree of dissociation, greater will be the number of particles. Okay, now the degree of dissociation, it depends upon the strength of the carboxylic acid. Stronger the carboxylic acid, more is the degree of dissociation, more is the number of particles inside the solution. Okay, now if we consider trifluoroacetic acid, according to the order that has been given to us inside the question is that in case of this acetic acid, delta TF value is the minimum. So I can just put this symbol here. Acetic acid, least value for delta TF, trifluoroacetic acid, highest value for delta TF. Now, why so? Because Trifluoroacetic acid is the strongest acid amongst these three acids. So it will be dissociated to the maximum extent. So the number of particles after dissociation will be maximum in case of trifluoroacetic acid. So it will give the maximum value for delta TF. So you can just repeat this video, see it again, and note down what I have told you. Okay, so delta TF, it depends upon I value, that is Van 't Hoff factor, and Van 't Hoff factor, it is equal to number of particles after dissociation upon number of particles before dissociation. Now, stronger the acid, greater is the value for I. Okay, so the strongest acid is trifluoroacetic acid. It will be having the maximum value for Van 't Hoff factor, hence maximum value for delta TF. Hope this is clear to you. If there is any kind of doubt even now, you can just put it in the comment section below. I will be taking up it in another video. Okay, so let's now move into the next question, that is question number 32. Let's see what is the statement for it. Question number 32. So sorry, I just touched something wrong and my pen, it disappeared. Okay, right. So question number 32 is calculate the depression in freezing point of water. Okay, we need to find out delta TF. When 10 gram of a carboxylic acid has been given to us, this carboxylic acid has been given to us, and WB, that is, this is a solute, so it is the mass of this solute will be taken as WB and it is equal to 10 gram. This has been given to us. And WA, that is the mass of the solvent. Solvent is water here. It is equal to 250 gram. Okay. The next is we have been given the value for Ka, that is the dissociation constant, 1.4 into 10 raised to the power minus 3. Then we have been given the value for Kf for water. It is 1.86 Kelvin kg per mole. Okay, now we need to find out delta TF. Now here we need to understand one thing. First of all, because we have been given the value for Ka, this means it is dissociating. The solute is dissociating. Okay. Moreover, when we have this carboxylic acid, we know that they dissociate in water. Okay. So here we will be taking up this formula, delta TF is equal to I into Kf into M. We have already discussed in the previous question also that when there is dissociation or association, this formula is used. Okay. Now value for Kf has been given to us. This is molality. This has not been given. This is I. This has not been given. We need to find out the value for molality and small I, that is Van 't Hoff factor. Put the values here in this equation. We will get the answer. Okay. Now first of all, let us find out what is the molality. From the formula, molality is equal to number of moles of solute upon mass of solvent in gram multiplied by 1000. Now we need to know what is the number of moles of solute. Solute has been given, formula for solute has been given, the weight of solute has been given, but number of moles have not been given. So NB is equal to WB upon MB, where MB is the molar mass of the solute. Given mass upon molar mass. Given mass is 10 gram, molar mass we can find out from the formula. Now what is the number of carbon atoms in it? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 multiplied by 12 plus how many hydrogens are there? 3, 2, 5, then 1, 6, 7. Then 1 chlorine is there, 35.5 plus 2 oxygen atoms are there, 2 into 16, 32. So this will be equal to 4 into 12 is 48. Okay, so we can just quickly calculate it. 48 plus 7 plus 35.5 plus 32. So it's coming out to be equal to 122.5. So this is the molar mass. So just put the values here. 10 upon 122.5, it will come out to be equal to 10 divided by So it is coming out to be equal to 0.0816. This is the number of moles. Just put the value here. Mass of solvent in grams, it has been given to be 250 into 1000. So 4. So we can just multiply it with 4. So it's coming out to be equal to 0.326 molality. Okay, now I'm noting this down on the paper so that when I will need to use this in, it is 0.326 molar. Okay, so now let us move into finding out the value for I. Okay, so first of all, before finding the value of I, that is want of factor, we need to write the equation for dissociation of the given carboxylic acid. So it will be like this. So CH3, CH2, CHCl, COO negative plus H positive, all are aqueous because we have dissolved this acid into water. Now, in the initial condition, acid is not dissociated. So I can just write here initial concentration. All the concentration will be of the carboxylic acid. Okay, so we are supposing that the initial concentration of the carboxylic acid is C, that is small c. What will be the initial concentration of these two? 0, because we are saying that initially there is no dissociation. Afterwards, when it gets dissolved into water, it will get dissociated. Now, after dissociation, the concentration of carboxylic acid will be C minus C alpha. Now, what is alpha here? It is the degree of dissociation, because it is not that the 100% carboxylic acid will be dissociated. There will be some fraction of it which will be dissociated. So it is the degree of dissociation, alpha. So the concentration of these two will be C alpha, C alpha. Okay. Now we need to find out I. In the previous question, we have already discussed that I is the ratio of number of particles after dissociation upon number of particles before dissociation. Now the number of particles after dissociation will be this concentration plus this concentration plus this concentration. So C minus C alpha plus C alpha plus C alpha upon initial concentration is C. Okay, so it will come out to be equal to 1 minus alpha plus alpha. So it will be 1 plus alpha. So this is the value for I. Now we need to put the value for alpha here. And we have been given the value for Ka. So what is Ka? Ka is the dissociation constant. It is the ratio of product of concentration of products upon product of concentration of reactants. So product of concentration of products is C alpha into C alpha upon concentration of reactants, because only one reactant is there. So we will be taking the concentration of one reactant. So there will be no product of concentrations in the denominator here in this case. Okay. So C minus C alpha. So I can just write C square alpha square upon C1 minus alpha. This will get cancelled. Now, because the dissociation will not be very large. Okay, small dissociation will be there. So we can just neglect alpha in comparison to 1 in the denominator. So it will be equal to C alpha square. So this is an approximation that we take. Okay, so now from this alpha square will be equal to Ka upon C equal to, so we can just write alpha will be equal to root of Ka upon C. So value for Ka has been given. It was 1.4 into 10 raised to the power minus 3 upon concentration. We have find out 0. Where have I written it? 0.326 molar. Okay. So now just calculate this. So I'm just making it 14 into 10 raised to the power minus 4. So that the root of 10 raised to the power minus 4 will be 10 raised to the power minus 2. To make it simple, I'm taking it like this. Okay. So 14 divided by 0.326. Now we need to take the root of it. So it's coming out to be equal to 6.55 into 10 raised to the power minus 2, or I can just write 0.0655. This is the value for alpha. Okay, now we need to find out the value for I. So I is equal to 1 plus alpha. So it is equal to 1 plus 0.0655 equal to 1.0655. So I'm again noting it down, 1.0655. So let's now put the values in the equation for delta TF. In the equation for delta TF, so we can just write delta TF is equal to I into KF into M. So I is 1.0655. KF has been given to be equal to 1.86. Molality was 0.326. 0.326. Okay, so we can just quickly multiply all these and get the answer. 1.0655 multiplied by 1.86 multiplied by 0.326. It is coming out to be equal to 0.646 degree. So degree here, you can take it in Kelvin, you can take it in degree C, because it is the difference in temperature. So difference in temperature is going to remain the same whether you are taking the temperatures in Kelvin or you are taking in any other units. Difference is not going to change. Okay, so this is the solution for question number 2.32. Solutions is the chapter NCERT back exercise 12th class. Okay, so then let's now move into question number 2.33. So hope you are getting a lot of conceptual clarity also from these videos, and if you are actually getting any kind of benefit, do like this these videos, share these with your friends, because sharing of knowledge is very, very important. Okay, do not think that I have got it, nobody else should get benefited. Okay, subscribe to the channel so that you can get the notifications of all my new videos. All right, so next question is 19.5 gram of fluoroacetic acid. It is 19.5 gram. We can say it is WB. Okay. It's dissolved in 500 gram of water. So WA is equal to 500 gram. Okay. The depression in freezing point of water observed is delta TF observed is equal to 1.0 degrees C. Okay, calculate the Van't-Hoff factor. So we need to find out I. Then we need to find out what is the dissociation constant of fluoroacetic acid, value for Ka. Okay, now first of all, we need to understand how we can find out the value for Van't-Hoff factor. Now we have different formulae for value of Van't-Hoff factor. One is the one which we have used in the previous two questions. Here we will be using a different formula. Value of I is equal to observed colligative property upon calculated colligative property. So observed colligative property, that is delta TF, it has been given to us. We need to find out what will be the calculated colligative property. That is, from the given information, we will be finding out what is the value for delta TF. And from that, we will be taking the ratio. We will get the value for Van't-Hoff factor, that is I. Okay, so delta TF is equal to KF into M. Okay, so KF has not been given. Many a times it will happen that KF, either you will be given some kind of information from where you will be able to find out KF, or you will not be given any information, neither the value of KF. There you will need to know in your own head what is the value for KF, especially for water. Especially for water. I don't say that cram it for all the solvents, but especially for water, you should know what is the value for KF. So it is 1.86 Kelvin kg per mole. Okay, so now we need to find the value of molality and put in this equation, we will get the calculated value for delta TF. So molality is equal to number of moles of solute upon mass of solvent in gram multiplied by 1000. Number of moles of solute. Solute is fluoroacetic acid. Now we have been given WB. Again, we need to find out the value of number of moles. First of all, just calculate quickly what is the molecular mass of fluoroacetic acid. So 2 carbons are there, 2 into 12 plus 3 hydrogens are there plus 2 oxygens are there, 32 plus 1 fluorine is there, 19. So let's calculate it. So 24 plus 35 plus 19. It is coming out to be equal to 78. You can just put the values here. So I'm showing it in this way, but you can write it in a proper way, okay, in a clean way. Do not write it like this, okay? So from the next time, I will also try to write it in a clean way. Okay, 19.5 upon 78. So it is equal to 0.25. So it is equal to 0.25 upon mass of the solvent in gram. It is given to be equal to 500 multiplied by 1000. So 0.50. This is the molality. Okay. So we can find out delta TF now. 1.86 multiplied by 0.5. So it's coming out to be equal to it's 0.93. You can take it in degree C, Kelvin, whatever, because it is the difference. Okay. Now I is equal to observed colligative property upon calculated colligative property. Observed colligative property, that is observed delta TF, it was given to be equal to 1. Calculated one is 0.93. So it is coming out to be equal to 1.075. So I'm just noting it down. 1.0753. Okay, we can take it up to 3. Right? Now, let's move into the calculation of the second, what we need to calculate. I have created a mess on the screen actually. I'm so sorry. I will try to write it in a very clean way from the next time. Okay. Okay. So next part that we need to find out is dissociation constant of fluoroacetic acid. So CH2FCOOH, it is aqueous. CH2FCOO negative plus H positive. This is aqueous. This is aqueous. Okay. Now again, initial concentration. For this it is C. For this and this is 0. After dissociation, it will be C minus C alpha. Here it is C alpha, C alpha. Now Ka is equal to C alpha into C alpha upon, I can just first write it like this. Ka is equal to product of concentration of products upon product of concentration of reactants. Now, because only one reactant is there, we can just write it like this. Okay. Now we just need to find out these values and put the values here in this equation. So for that, we need to have the value for alpha. Okay. So we know what is I. I is equal to C minus C alpha plus C alpha plus C alpha upon C. So it will be equal to 1 minus alpha plus alpha plus alpha. It will be equal to 1 plus alpha. We have already done in the previous questions also. Okay. So from this, we can just say that alpha will be equal to I minus 1. So what was the value for I? It was equal to 1.0753 minus 1. So it is 0.0753. So this is alpha. Okay, so from here we can just find out the values for these concentrations. So concentration of CH2FCOO negative will be equal to C multiplied by, now what is C here? C is the molality. C is the molality. So 0.5 was the molality multiplied by 0.0753. So it is coming out to be equal to 0.0753 multiplied by 0.5, 0.03765. It is a bit long question. Be patient. Okay. I'm just noting it down. 0.03765. Okay. Just like this, the concentration of H positive will be also equal to C into alpha. So C is again 0.5, alpha is again 0.0753. It is equal to 0.03765. So these two values we have got. Okay, now what is the concentration of this carboxylic acid? Let's find it out. C into 1 minus alpha. So concentration of this will be C multiplied by 1 minus alpha. So C is 0.5. 1 minus alpha is now, what is the value of alpha? 0.0753. So it will come out to be equal to 1 minus 0.0753 multiplied by 0.5. So it's coming out to be equal to 0.462. 0.462. Okay. So Ka is equal to, put all the values here now. So it was 0.03765 multiplied by 0.03765 upon 0.462. So it is equal to 0.03765 square divided by 0.462. So it is coming out to be equal to 0.0031, or you can just write it as 3.1 into 10 raised to the power minus 3. So this will be the value for Ka. Do not get scared of it. It is very easy, very simple, but only it is lengthy. Okay, do not be scared. I'm here. If you still have any kind of doubt, write in the comment section below. I will be helping you out. Okay, so let's now move into the next question. So the next question is question number 2.34. Question number 2.34 is vapor pressure of water at 293 Kelvin is 17.535 millimeter of mercury. So it is for pure water, P0. Okay. Calculate the vapor pressure of water at the same temperature when 25 gram of glucose is dissolved in 250 gram of water. This is a very simple question. Okay, we need to find out the vapor pressure of the solution of water inside the solution. Okay, so now because the solute is non-volatile, so the vapor pressure of the solution will be equal to the partial vapor pressure of water inside the solution. Now you can use the formula for relative lowering in vapor pressure. So relative lowering in vapor pressure is P0 minus PS upon P0 equal to WB upon MB multiplied by MA upon WA. Okay, value for P0 we have 17.535 minus PS upon 17.535 equal to WB is 25. It is for glucose. For glucose, I have already told you that you need to keep it in mind that these are the common solutes. So just keep their molecular masses in mind, okay? Ma is the molar mass of water because it is a solvent. It is multiplied by 18 upon Wa has been given to be equal to 450. Okay, so it is 10, it is 1. So let's quickly find it out. What is the value for it? So 25 divided by 4500. So it is equal to 0.0056. Okay. Now I can just write 17.535 minus PS is equal to 0.0056 multiplied by 17.535. So it is coming out to be equal to 0.0974. So PS will be equal to 17.535 minus 0.0974. So it is equal to 17.44 millimeter of mercury. Or you can just write 437, because this is up to the third decimal place. We can take it as up to the third decimal place. Okay, so this is a simple question, small question. So it should be a big relief for you also. So let's now move into the next question, that is question number 35. Henry's law constant for molality of methane. So it is 2.35 question. Henry's law constant for the molality of methane in benzene at 298 Kelvin is, so KH has been given to be equal to 4.27 into 10 raised to the power 5 millimeter of mercury. Okay. Calculate the solubility of methane in benzene. Solubility of methane in benzene at 298 Kelvin under pressure 760 millimeter of mercury. Okay. Now, very easy, very simple question. P is equal to KH into C. All right. So P is the pressure, KH is the Henry's constant, C is the concentration. So we need to find out C. So C will be equal to P upon KH. So P is 760 upon 4.27 into 10 raised to the power 5. So it will be equal to 760 divided by 4.27. 177.98 into 10 to the power minus 5. Okay, so you can just convert this into scientific notation. Hope now you know how to convert these things into scientific notation. Okay, so let's now move into the last question of this particular video, and after that you can definitely take a break and then come back to watch the next solutions. Question number 2.36. 100 gram of liquid A. Okay, we have been given liquid A and we have been given liquid B. Okay, 100 gram of liquid A. So WA is equal to 100 gram. MA, the molar mass of A has been given to be equal to 140 gram per mole. It was dissolved in 1000 gram of liquid B. So WB is equal to 1000 gram. MB is equal to 180 gram per mole. Okay. The vapor pressure of pure B, that is P naught B, was found to be equal to 500 torr. Okay. Calculate the vapor pressure of pure liquid A. We need to find out P naught A and its vapor pressure in the solution. That is, we need to find out PA also. If the total vapor pressure of the solution is P total is equal to 475 torr. We need to find out P naught A. We need to find out PA. Simple. It is a question of Raoult's law. Okay. So vapor pressure of the solution, it is equal to XA into P naught A plus XB into P naught B. Now XA and XB has not been given. We need to find out from the information given to us. Okay. Now number of moles of A is equal to WA upon MA. WA is equal to 100. MA is equal to 140. So it is equal to 100 divided by 140. 0.714. Okay, NB will be equal to WB upon MB. So it will be equal to 1000 upon 180, 1000 divided by 180. So 5.56 or 5.556. We can take both up to the third decimal place. Now XA will be equal to 0.714 upon 0.714 plus 5.556 is equal to 0.714 divided by 0.714 plus 5.556. It's coming out to be equal to 0.114. So XB will be equal to 1 minus 0.114. So 1 minus 0.114, it is equal to 0.886. Put the values, get the answer. Okay. So P here is 450, it has been given. P, that is the total vapor pressure of the solution, it is 475. 475, okay, here it was written. Now XA is 0.114, P naught A we need to find out. We have XB 0.886 multiplied by P naught B. P naught B is 500. So I can just do it. 0.886 multiplied by 500. So it is coming out to be equal to 443. So it is 0.114 P naught A. So I can just write 0.114 P naught A is equal to 475 minus 443. So it is coming out to be equal to 32. Okay, so P naught A will be equal to 32 divided by 0.114. 32 divided by 0.114, it is coming out to be equal to 280.7 torr. So it is P naught A. Now we need to find out PA also. So I'm just noting down, or we can just write it directly. So PA is equal to, just look at the top, okay. PA is equal to XA into P naught A. So the value for XA is 0.114 multiplied by 280.7. So it will come out to be equal to, I think it is the reverse of this only. It will be 32 again, 0.114 multiplied by 280.7. Right. So it is coming out to be equal to 32 torr. Hope this is clear to you. Again, a very simple question. It seems that it is a bit difficult, or it looks complicated, but these things are very, very simple. Just first of all, you need to write down what you need to find out. Then you need to write down what you have been given. Write the final formula that you need to have to get the values of the required whatever you have been asked to calculate. Okay, and then just find out what has been given and what you have not been given, and from where you can get it and put the values in the equation. All right, hope this is giving you a lot of conceptual clarity along with it. And if you still face any kind of problem, definitely you can write it in the comment section below. And if you want to study directly from me in my live online classes, you can just go to the description of this video and reach out to me. Okay, and I will see you in the next video with next questions. Bye for now.